All right, again, friends and fam, I thought I'd do another video on our life journey. And this video is going to be titled, I recommend calories, counting calories to lose weight. That's my recommendation to lose weight. If you're going to drop some pounds, do the calories approach. I'm the Knowledge Seeker Leroy Clark, and let's talk about calories. Shout out to Coach Greg Doucette. He's the reason that I'm currently at the weight I am, at 190 pounds. It fluctuates from 190 to 193. I used to be 185 consistently for 3 years straight, but then I started working out more and more. And not to brag, the muscle's building up, so the muscle has me over 185 to 190 to 193. But he's the reason that I'm at this current weight right now. And his main talking points is calories. Calories in, calories out. And I recommend that. The average American, the average person could get away with eating 2,000 calories. The average height is like 5'9". If you're shorter than 5'9", I recommend to drop it down to like 1,500 calories or 15 to 1,700 calories. But if you're taller than 5'11", which I am, if you're like in the 6 feet range or higher, I reckon you can get away with maybe 2,100, 2,200 calories. But the average calories of that a person eats is 2,000. And anything else over 2,000, you have to earn it and work for it. And how do you earn it and work for it? Walk it off, jog it off, hit the gym. If you do the 1,500 to 2,000 calorie approach, you'll be perfectly fit and fine. If you want to eat more than that, go ahead and work out and earn it and work out for it. My brain is wired to count numbers and statistics. I'm kind of nerdy, so I'm really into that. And learning about calories, that drastically changed my weight loss. I remember being at my heaviest, 320 pounds. And I didn't count calories. I did movement, but not how I move now. And I'm going to talk about that as I get later into the video. But I was a big boy at my heaviest. And I frequent buffets. Up until age 40, I just didn't count calories. I just enjoyed what I ate and wanted more and more of it. I remember being in homeless shelters, just going back for seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths and sixths and sevens. And yeah, that takes a toll on your body. I was just eating away the pains of my life, just grabbing every meal that I could, just getting whole boxes of cereal, like the Fruity Pebbles and, you know, the Flintstone cereals and Frosted Cornflakes, and just pour milk. You remember the movie Friday? When Ice Cube grabbed the bowl of cereal and he poured all of that cereal in and tapped the box, but he didn't have milk. Well, I had the milk. I had it all. You know, poured all that cereal in, poured all the milk, and then when the milk get low, like drink it and pour more milk or pour more cereal. Yeah, I didn't count calories, and it showed. Back in those earlier days when I started my YouTube channel and did videos, I deleted those videos because I thought I was going to quit YouTube. I wish I would have kept those videos, but for my subscribers that stuck with me, they remember I was a pretty big guy. I was like 260, 270. And even all that walking I did, I just didn't count calories. Up to the age of 40. And that's when my health rapidly declined. Somebody told me in my youth, like once you get 40, that's when you got to start taking your health and everything serious. And I think I heard it in my late teens and 20s. I was like, well, I'm going to be 20 forever. When you're young, you're invincible, man. But the person that told me that was an older gentleman. He was right, because as soon as I turned 40 years old, my health, I felt it, and it showed in my blood work. It just rapidly went down. I was one point for being a full-blown diabetic. I got the call, and then I was just feeling sick all the time, and then everything hurted. I was getting cramps. My hands was like numb all the time. It was just painful. And when I got the phone call from my nurse at the Military Veterans Hospital, I admit, sadly, right, it is what it is. I cried. grown man not supposed to cry, right? But I cried, and I told myself, well, you are a man. What you gonna do instead of just crying? And I researched on YouTube here, which I'm currently doing. I research on health and fitness, and I remember learning about keto. I started with the keto diet, and I dropped weight rapidly with the keto diet because keto is pretty much is low in calories. So keto is a good approach. You get rid of the carbs, and you just do meat and veggies and certain veggies, do green veggies. You got to get away from the carbohydrates as much as you can, and your weight will drop rapidly. But I really miss those donuts. I really miss the carbs. And I was like, there has to be another way than just doing keto. And that's what I found Greg Doucette video. Shout out to Greg Doucette. And he talked about calories in, calories out. And for the first time in my life, age 40 plus, I think I was around 41, 40 going on 41. And I learned about what calories was. I didn't even know what calories was. And when I learned about calories, I went from 225. I went from like 290 to 225 on keto. And then I went from 225 to 185. And I stayed that weight 185 for 3 years. And then I was studying and listening to Coach Doucette. He said if you build muscle, that burns calories because muscle burns calories while just resting. And I wanted to get super fit, like he said it. So I started working out every day, 3 times a day. A light, heavy, and medium workout. And I got muscular, And in the first time in my life, I'd never been this muscular. I'd never been this ripped and fit. I got abs, and my face is like, got a jawline, and I'm getting older. You kind of see the lines there, but I stay still here. So I got a jawline and everything now, and I never had it in my youth. I always was a chubby big boy, big kid, and now at age about to be 46, I'm more healthier and more fit than I was in my military days. Even in the military, when I got in the military, I had to do the overweight program. I was a big military soldier, and I went to the military. I was at like 235, 240, which is barely passing the tape measure. Didn't have muscles like this. I was kind of stocky in the military, and I did my time, got out honorably. But I was always a big guy in the military. But now, if I go in the military now, probably too late. But if I go now, I could easily pass the no weight at all, just walk right in, and I'm probably more fit than some of the military guys. At least I'm fit now than I was in my youth. The fittest muscular I've ever been. And all it is just counting calories and just working out, counting calories. That's it. I still eat my junk foods. I still eat my cakes, pies. You see my shorts, my videos, fries. I can eat pretty much anything I want. I'm about to be 50 years old, knock on wood. And my blood work is perfectly fine. And it's calories in, calories out. Of course, like I go for the healthier stuff like the apples and the veggies, the carrots, and try to eat as healthy as I can. But I'd still like my candies, my sweets, and my desserts. I say if I had to put it on my diet, I see it as like maybe 60% healthy, 40% unhealthy. Of course, as I get older and older, hopefully I can get away with this forever, even to my 90s, into my 100s, into my 200s. Living that long. Well, hopefully I do live that long, but I don't think so. But as I get older, of course I'm going to go more healthier. More for now, 60-40. We'll see if I can keep that up. But yeah, calories in, calories out. I highly recommend that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being on our life journeys and doing the best that we can. And share your comments about weight. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you don't do the calories and you're super fit without the calories. Put them in the comments below. This is just my approach. And let's do better than yesterday. Let's be the best that we can. Enjoy your day or night. Bye.